The Hash It Out Show is brought to you by Barreto Home Solutions, Bayou Audio and Video, Hot Works on the North Shore, JFK Martial Arts in Mandeville and Covington, Black Hawk Hauling, Lil Dizzy's Cafe, Wags Food and Culture, Moe's Pizza, The Green Law Firm, Personal Injury Attorney, Drums Earwear.
Hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Move, move, move. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. 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 Hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Move, move, move. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning.
Welcome to the Hash It Out Show. I am your host, JB, your sports guy. We got a big show for y'all tonight. We're going to talk about who we think are the top 5 overall teams in the state. We're going to talk about some power rankings. We have Coach Erick Franklin of the Lake Charles College Prep Trailblazers joining us later tonight. And we got another special guest joining us right now. But before we get to him, I want to announce my co-host. You can catch this guy on CrescentCitySports.com, the one, the only VK Jones. What's going on, VK?
Good evening, everybody. What's going on? The most exciting show of the week. Every Tuesday and Wednesday, the Hash It Out Show and you can subscribe to all social media platforms on your Facebook, Instagram, and also on your Twitter, and also on JB Sports Guy on YouTube. And we're also at the hashitoutshow.com. That is the hashitoutshow.com. We've been having a lot of hits. Come on over, check out our content. Hey, we got the best content in the state of Louisiana and all across the country. We definitely appreciate you joining us. We got two good guests. We got a lot to hit on tonight, so we thank you for joining us.
My other co-host, you can also catch on CrescentCitySports.com, the one, the only George Peppers. What's up, George Peppers?
Doing just fine. Ready to do this, and we got 2 great guests, so let's get started.
Let's get started. Our first guest, he is the head coach of the Riverside Academy Rebels. He has them off to a 5-1 start. He has his team rolling. We have the one, the only Lee Rousell. Coach, how you doing?
What's up, guys? Appreciate y'all for having me, man. And anytime we can get on and talk about our team and our kids, man, I think it's awesome what all you guys do for high school football. So I appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you. We just want to promote all high school sports and the players that play. We want to promote them to the best of our abilities. Thank you so much. Coach Rousell, why did you want to become a coach?
Well, one, the love of the game, right? And I knew it was going to come a time where the playing days were over, and you start thinking about, I'm at ULM after high school, and, you're laying in your bed thinking about, all right, real life's about to happen, right? Like, I got to start deciding after you take all these general classes in college, what do I want to do with this stuff? And, man, I went back and forth. Like I took some like drafting architect classes, and I just knew that I wanted to stick around the game. And, I like the idea of working with people, and then I didn't realize, till you get in it and you start affecting, people and kids, and then you get old enough to where kids start having kids, and the rewards you get when those guys come back and see you, But I knew I wanted to stick around the game. I don't think there's any other profession where you still can have that competitive edge. Maybe so, but I just think it's you wake up every day and you don't feel like you're working. I get to go game plan for football. I get to coach kids a kids game, and I get to impact young people's lives. So many of reasons, but that's a few why I chose to get into this thing.
You've coached many of places, but you spent 7 years at Nicholls State. How would you describe those 7 years while you were there?
Oh, and look, every stop had special meanings, right? Every place I've been, I've learned and I've grown as a coach. The things I think about that place is when we got there. I mean, you guys know, like Nicholls was on they were the bottom end of the Southern Conference. We got there. Coach Rebo hired me in 2014, so I was able to come in on his first staff, and they were on at that time a 23-game losing streak, if you remember. I mean, it was the floor of the conference. Everybody had marked that off as a W on their schedule, and to take that thing and a lot of things I learned from Coach Rebo is we took that group of kids, some that we didn't recruit that were there that we inherited, and others that we did recruit and played as freshmen. But we took that team, and within 3 or 4 years, in 2018, we won our first conference championship in the schools in years, right? Then we go back to back and win it in 19. So that climb, from 2014 to 2019, man, that was special. I enjoyed every minute of it. I enjoyed the recruiting process. I was lucky enough to recruit the river parishes in New Orleans and Baton Rouge area. So I had some talent in that area that we were lucky enough to get some good players from some good high school programs, and it brought people in the seats, right? Because now mom, dad, uncle, aunt, we had packed houses in 2017, 18, 19. So it was a lot of fun. I really, really loved my 7 years there. I appreciate. I went to the game this past Saturday, watching beat Houston Christian. Stay in touch with Coach Rebo and I talk once a week. Their offensive line coach now is a kid that I coached at Nicholls. He was a 4-time All-American for us, PJ Burkhalter, who's now the offensive line coach. So that's really cool to go back and watch him get to coach now. But I learned a lot, and it just came a time where I got 2 kids now that's old enough to know, hey, Dad, why you not at my soccer game or my softball game? And that kind of brought me back to the high school game, and just a different part in my life, and this is where I'm supposed to be now.
That was leading into my next question. Why Riverside? And pretty much you said it has to do with your kids, and what else?
Yeah, so I'm from here. I grew up right there in Lutcher, so I'm a River Parish kid. Played at Lutcher. Had family that came to Riverside. Guy is on the school board, and I grew up playing ball together. So, look, I knew, in 2016, I think it was, they won a state championship, and I know it can be done here, right? I knew that you can win games here. I know that people care about football here. I had heard at the time really good things about the new principal at the time, which, her and I work really well together. So I'm really excited about that. So it gave me a chance to, one, be with my kids because, as you know, Riverside goes all the way to pre-K. So I have 2 kids here, one in pre-K 4 and one in first grade. So I get to bring them to school every day, and you can't put a price on that. And I still get to do what I love. I say it all the time. I coach inside zone the same way at Riverside as I do at Nicholls, right? It's still inside zone, and we still gonna work the double teams how you're supposed to work double teams. I'm just doing it with younger kids. So that's kind of what brought me back. It brought me back home. I'm back living right there in Paulina, which is right next to Lutcher. So I'm local, and yeah, now it's fun doing the same things that we talked about at Nicholls just a minute ago. Now building this thing, and now you putting, I'm getting to put my fingerprints all over it as the head coach.
In your first year, you guys had an overall record of 9-2. How have you been able to build off of your success from your first season?
I think the understanding of the kids on the day-to-day expectations, right? Like little things of knowing when a meeting starts, and then how we stretch and how we line up, and so you spend you never stop coaching those things, but you spend less time on the expectations and the culture, because they kind of know what to expect from us, and know the things that, hey, I'm not going to be able to get away with this, or coach wants it this way. And you get to spend a little more time on football, a little more time on X's and O's, a little more time on fundamentals. Where we lost some guys in last year's senior class at some key spots. A couple of them playing college football, and some people had some questions on offensive skill, and I knew we'd be just fine, because I think the expectations now, and those guys know what to expect, and we got some good players. They're just young. So yeah, I think year 1 to year 2 it's a lot of those things. Is the day-to-day expectations. I think our kids know what to expect.
Last Friday, big game that was shown across the state on TV against St. Martin's. You guys dominated. What is it that you took from that win against St. Martin's?
So the last 3 weeks, we went country day, and the week before that, I thought we'd been playing some of our better football in the middle of the year, which is good, right? You want to start playing your good football in October, heading into November. And I know this sounds like coach talk, but I think we finally getting to a point where we're putting all 3 phases of the game together. The last 2 weeks, we played pretty good special teams. I thought that might have been what won the game against Country Day. And sure enough, it showed up Friday against St. Martin's. They drive down the first drive, and we block a field goal. And you talk about a big momentum swing, and we go down and score and go up 7-0. And we did a good job on kickoff coverage. It was kind of a plan to keep it out of Harlan-Berry's hands and not give them an extra touch on their kickoff return. And I thought we did a good job on special teams. And then offensively, we did a great job of controlling the line of scrimmage. We ran the football. We had a running back, Dedrick Lashley, who went for 350 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns, and he hit some big explosive plays. So we were able to control the line of scrimmage, which ultimately you control the game when you control the line of scrimmage. And defensively, I can't say enough about, one, the players and the coaches. I thought we had a good plan. He's going to get yards. Harlan's going to get yards. He's can run. He's physical. I mean, he's talented. He can make you miss. So it wasn't a goal to hold him under a certain amount of yards, right? It was eliminating the big, explosive 60, 70-yard runs, get him on the ground and make him line up and do it again. And I thought we did that. I thought we had a good plan. I thought our defensive coordinator 2 years in a row, Chris Lashley, did a really good job. But not only just putting the plan together, but getting the kids to do it, right? You still got to line up and do it on Friday night. And I thought all 3 phases played a part, and usually in big games, you need all 3 phases.
Before I pass it on to VK Jones, you talked about coaching under Tim Rebowe, but you also coached under 2 other legends, Jay Roth at Rummel and Frank Monica at St. Charles Catholic. How much of an influence were they to you?
That's a really good question. And I talk about this all the time. I talk about this with my players, like they learning from those guys. They don't even know it. And look, there was another one that you didn't name, Tim Detillier, worked at Lutcher, who's also going to be Louisiana Hall of Fame. That's all 4 guys going to be Louisiana Hall of Fame coaches. Tim Rebowe from his time at Destrehan and what he's done at Nichols and coached all over the state in the college game. And Jay Roth, the most winningest coach in the Catholic League, and a couple state championships there. And Frank Monica inducted this year. I take pieces and little things from all of them. I always talk Coach Roth, Jay Roth. He actually came speak to our team during fall camp. I always thought he had a way, something I took from him. He had a way to make you believe in Raider pride, and about the school. And I'm this River Parish boy from Lutcher, and I know nothing about the city. And in my 5 years there, man, I was a Rummel Raider. He had me believing in Raider pride, and man, I knew the fight song, and he just had this special way to make the whole school believe in the cause and whatever it was, whatever the mission was that week. That's something I really took for him. But they all had different things. Coach Monica's attention to the little things and detail and hard work and getting there early and staying late. He grinded, and that was my first job, so I learned that. That's all I knew, and he coached the coaches hard. He coached the coaches maybe harder than the players. So at 22, man, he's coaching me and showing me how to be a coach. And I thought Coach Detillier was always at Lutcher was just great in the community. You know, everybody liked Coach, and he had a special way of, you know, everybody's different and coaching different people different ways. And same thing with Coach Rebo. Uh, you know, his thing is he's a great recruiter because he's good people. He knows how to impact different people in different ways. So I took a little bit of all four of those guys in my time with them, and you know, you take mental notes. If I ever get to be a head coach, I really like how he did this or how he did this. So yeah, they all very impactful in my coaching career.
Coach Rousell, man, how you doing? It's good to have you on. And I know we met twice, and it's amazing. We ran into each other Saturday at the tailgate at Nickel State. And man, I have a lot to ask you, man, because you know, we having the conversation and everything else. You mentioned Jay Roth. It's funny that he was at the homecoming Saturday.
Was.
And he right behind me, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" And so
He's got a son on the team now. He's a deep snapper.
really,
Yep.
man, that's something, man. Because I tell you, it's something else because I have a lot of respect for Coach Roth. A lot because I'm a graduate of St. Augustine High School,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember Jay Roth as a coach. First year was my junior year at St. Augustine, and we had an awesome team. And he wound up breaking that losing streak that Rummel had against St. Aug, and he has owned the Purple Knights, and I give him a whole lot of respect for that. So seeing him and talking with him, and I'm like, hey, let's take a picture together. And he said, share it. And I decided to share it. And I said on the caption, from rivals to alumni, because I just recently graduated from Nicholls State. So thank you. I finished in July. I was supposed to be walking in graduation in December. So it was really cool with that. But I gotta ask you this going into it. Last week against St. Martin's, you mentioned the three phases, won the game more than anything else. Do you think depth played a big time part? Because it seems like your team is continuing to grow, and especially, you know, with the roster you have and the weapons, it seems like it's continuing to get better and better for your team.
Yeah, I do. I think it plays a role at every level. You know, you talk about time at Nicholls, and you go play the schools like Georgia and A&M, and you see a difference on the guys, like on their special team when they got an 85-man scholarship roster and we got a 63. Well, same thing at this level, right? Like you playing 1A football and we got 50 however many kids, and you know, the other team has 30-something kids. Well, those 20 make a difference, whether it be a couple extra guys playing both ways on the line of scrimmage that start to get wore down in the second half when you kind of running the football, or maybe it's one guy on a special team that has to play because he needs a breather, and it definitely plays a part. And I think we do have pretty good depth for the division that we in, especially on the line of scrimmage.
And I gotta, you know, tell you this more than anything else. I don't know if I can tell my age and whatever. All the coaches you mentioned, I covered them, and I also remember them. I remembered Coach Rebo when he was at Destrehan. He was a head coach at the time when he led Destrehan to the state championship game against West Monroe, and that was my freshman year at St. Augustine. And that should have been us there, but it is what it is. But I just knew that Coach Rebo was going to turn around that Nicholls program once he got to Nicholls. So he's still trying to maintain and get it going. But besides all that, looking at your team more and more, do you think the wins is going to continue to get your team prepared more for a big playoff run?
Yeah, so good question, because this year what we did was, you know, the district last year was St. Martin's, West St. John, Cohen, Crescent City, and Vornado. And so this year, Cohen moved out the district. So we had the option to keep Cohen, or we could have found, and we went schedule a LB Landry, a 4A team, who we all know is very talented. And the reason for doing that is to get ready for the playoffs. And, you know, we went 9-1 last year, but I said, even if 8-2 is the record and we play a team that really gets us ready for the playoffs, that's what I want to do. And I thought we had an opportunity to do that this year. So we got West St. John this week, who, if you've been covering high school football, you said a long time, you know that this was the game in the 1990s, Riverside and
Yes,
West St. John,
yes.
right? Superdome games, and some of our kids, well, all of the kids, they weren't born for that, right? So that I'm trying to remind them, like, this is the one that the TV cameras used to be at, not St. Martin's, you know, and it still means a lot to people around here. So we got them this week, and then LB Landry the following week on a Thursday night in Algiers for their homecoming. So I wanted to be in I wanted to put us in close of a playoff environment as we can late in the season. And I think that'll help, you know, and just another good opponent with they're big. They're going to have team speed. So I'm excited about the next couple weeks.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because that was the next thing I was about to get into more than anything else. I remember that was a cross the river battle because sometimes Riverside or West St. John had to take the ferry to get across for that ball game. That used to be a big ball game. Tell us a little bit, you know, if you want to reveal or whatever, you have a relative that's well known in Riverside. And I just knew right then and there when I first time I heard the name, I said it myself, he's gotta be related to Mickey Rousell. Mickey Rousell is a legend in itself at Riverside and had probably one of the most best stories we have ever seen in prep football. And it just too bad it didn't end the way that Riverside wanted it. But for him to overcome and win in life was something else. Tell us a little bit about how you related to Mickey Rousell.
Yeah, well, all Roussells that live in Lutcher, we got to be related some kind of way. So I don't even really know how, you know, it's not a close relationship, but we Roussells from Lutcher. So yeah, we definitely related. But he has been involved in my life since I was born. You know, him and my dad are really close, and they were in each other's weddings, and so I've been knowing him since I was little, and always followed Riverside football. I remember my senior year even coming watch them practice because they made it to the semifinals that year, and just I had some friends on the team. So you can add him to that list of people that's impacted me as far as coaches. Although I didn't work with him or play for him, he's back around here. He's actually our head golf coach. He runs our booster club meetings, which we had one tonight. We just getting out of there. And, you know, it's good to have just another set of ears around that's been there and done it, you know, and you can't have enough of those guys. If things come up that you need to bounce ideas and questions off of, he's been there for me. So, yeah, he is close to us. He's close to my family. I'm very appreciative of him being back around. And he was one, too, that, you know, you talk about why coming back. Well, I knew he was back involved. And, you know, he coached plenty of years here. So a lot of the alumni are loyal to him. And he's got a bunch of the guys back involved.
And it's something else, man. And you know, I'm glad he's doing well. He's a cancer survivor and still going. I love it about him, man. You know what I'm saying? And
He's still going. He's gonna paint the field with me tomorrow. I mean, it's me and him. We paint the field on Thursdays for home games. So he's out. Yeah, he's out and about.
So what? And I want to ask you this: do you think things are really coming together? Because you think about years ago, Billy Stubbs winning the state championship at Riverside, and also Timmy Bird really bringing a shot to the arm to Riverside athletics to being competitive in all sports and everything else. But for them leaving, but then all of a sudden here comes Marty Luquette, who's patching it up and keeping things going at Riverside, and plus the return of Mickey Rousell. It seems like Riverside is really pushing forward.
I believe with everything in me. Yes, I do. I think I wouldn't have. I don't come back if I don't really believe with everything in me that you can win at a high level here. So consistently, I really believe that. I think we got great administration. Our principal's awesome. The school's in good shape. Our school board president is a good friend of mine. He's an alum. He's a former football player here. I really do. I believe that it's a good place, and it's, you know, I'm happy with my kids being here, and I'm happy with with our football staff. We got a great coaching staff, former head coaches, a couple other guys that coached in college during the time that I was. And look, we got some good players now, and I think the best is yet to come. You know, we play football here all the way down to third grade. You know, we got third grade, fourth grade team, a fifth grade, sixth grade team, and you look at some of the, you know, we playing right now with some eighth and ninth graders on the field, and then you look down at some of those fifth and sixth grade kids, and yes, I am very, very excited. But I don't want to just look to the future because we got some juniors and seniors who deserve a shot right now, and I want to give those guys my all and not just, you know, focus all on the young kids.
Last question before I pass it on to George Peppers. Looking at I was about to say. Okay, I was just saying about how the future of the program, but we talk about the river. Let's talk about the side of the river because last couple of years, River Parish has been something else. 3 state championships last year, and you look at the most of the power came between Destrehan. You look at Lutcher, St. Charles, Catholic. Look at this year, the East Side in St. John Parish has the power. St. Charles Catholic, East St. John, Riverside. What you can say about that the River Parish football is continuing to grow more, that almost another side of the River Parish is starting to have some power and domination in football?
I got a whole lot to say about that. One is we got good players here. We got players who grow up playing football and love their schools. And when we got it, you know, bringing it back to Nichols, when we got it rolling, we were signing the undersized kid from the River Parish who was the best player on his team that maybe the big school didn't want. And we loaded our team with those guys. I think about guys like Amani Morton from East St. John, Sully Lesh from Lutcher, Evan Veron from Riverside, Alan Pittman from Destrehan. And we got these collection of guys, and they were all from the river. We had quite a few St. James guys at the time. And we won with those kids. They just knew how to win and compete and play the game. The other thing I think all those schools you named, really good leadership. There's some really good football coaches. You talk about Destrehan. I got an opportunity to work with Marcus Scott my first year at Nichols. He coached our defensive backs. Excellent man, leader of men, good ball coach. Held a Lutcher head coach and St. Charles head coach, Wayne and Dwayne, both stood in my wedding. We were in each other's weddings and really, really good friends. Had an opportunity to recruit East St. John, and Brandon and Brown became good friends. Another guy that just runs a really good program, discipline, winning. I mean, I think everybody's is good football and with good leadership.
George Peppers.
Coach Rousell, first of all, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to joining us tonight. We are greatly appreciate it. My first question centers on how much you lost off of last year's team. You guys, as JB mentioned, 9-2, got in the playoffs, but you had to replace a lot of key guys last year, especially on the defensive side, in which you only brought back 2 starters. You guys are 5-1 this year, but I really want to focus more on the emergence of Dedrick Lasty. Had the big game against St. Martin's, has 17 touchdowns on the year. You moved him from split end to running back. What was the precursor to moving him there? What did you see in him that could make him be the back that he is through 6 weeks?
So yeah, we had a running back last year, and Elijah Davis, who was a senior who signed with UL Lafayette, who graduated. So we knew we had to fill that spot. He did get some carries last year, and then when we got him the ball at slot last year, when the ball was in his hands, he was pretty good. He just didn't get the amount of touches that he got this year because we had another back. But people asked that Friday night after the St. Martin game, when did you kind of know he was the guy and that he can do some of the things he's doing? And you started to see those things last year. Dedrick's a very, very smart football player. He's a very smart kid. Even in the classroom, he's very good. So he's got a high football IQ, and you can move him around and do different things, throwing the football out the backfield, and he understands pass protection, and he's tough. He's not a big kid, but he's very good inside the tackles. I thought he did a good job this week running inside the tackles, and he doesn't go down easy. So I started seeing these things in spring football going against our own defense, who, I thought we had a pretty good front seven on our own team. So going against those guys in spring and fall camp, and him starting to, pop some long runs and getting loose a little bit in spring, I said, oh, we got something here. And he can run, and if O-line has done a nice job, that's where we are kind of experienced. And when those guys get Dedrick to the second and third level, he can do the rest. He can make you miss and create some big runs. So I can't say enough about him. He's done a great job so far this year. He's, like you said, I think he's over 1,100 yards. He's one of the top rushers, I think, in the state right now. So very,
Third
very proud of him.
Third overall.
Cool. Yep. Third overall.
All right. My next question centers around your quarterback position. You had to replace a really good player in Hemel this year, and you got Blake Bourgeois as a sophomore. You also mentioned about putting I think Johnson as a quarterback. How does that come along to this point? I know last thing is the center of attention in your backfield, but talk about your quarterbacks to this point.
Yeah, Brock Bourgeois. He's a sophomore. He was a starter on the baseball last year. Last year as a freshman. So going into the year, it was a competition. Kendrick Johnson, who you mentioned, plays some quarterback too. He's just an eighth grader. He's going to be a fabulous player. He's making plays already for us in eighth grade. So we're kind of rotating those guys in spring. We had a third guy who had a shoulder injury who's out right now. But towards the end of the summer in the 7-on-7s and things like that, Brock started, we kind of knew he would be the guy we'd go with. And we always kept Kendrick certain packages that we wanted to do with him to start feeding him a little bit because, in the future, he'd probably be the quarterback. He's only an eighth grader. So we wanted to give him a menu of plays every week that we thought he can handle so he can start. It's a lot on the eighth grader to give him the whole playbook, and he's handled that really well. But to talk about Brock, he's done a really good job. We talked tonight about stats. His touchdown to interception ratio, he's 7 touchdowns in the air with only 1 interception. He's got a 63% completion percentage, I believe, right now. So he's over 60%. He's thrown for, 750 yards or so. So, when we ask him to throw in the last couple of weeks, we've started to open it up a little more, throwing the football, especially against Country Day. He threw for over 200. He's really doing a good job and only a 10th grader and didn't really play tackle football growing up, right? So, this is all brand new, and I think his ceiling's really high to continue to grow as a player.
Talk about last week in which you just dominated St. Martin's, a semifinal team from last year. And, of course, they've got a stud back in Harlan Berry. Do you feel like that was your peak performance, or do you think Riverside has more to give as we head into the last 4 games of the season and towards the playoffs?
Yeah, as a coach, you always want to continue to try to build, right? You don't want that to be the peak. So, yeah, I mean, look, we scored a lot of points, but there was a drive in there. We got a punt, and we got the ball. They had the punt, and they snapped it over the head, and we got the ball in really, really good field position. It was the one possession we didn't score, right? We dropped the ball, and then we had a mental error on a counter that we ran, and, yeah, let's fix those things, right? So it wasn't a perfect game. So, yeah, there's always things to fix. There was a couple penalties. Penalties have been better, but you always want to clean up. So I think, yeah, you always want to build. Now, I do think that was one of our better performances of the year. I think we came ready to play, and I do think we executed in all 3 phases. So as proud as I am of our kids, I still think there's always room to grow. But, I said this at our Booster Club meeting tonight, that how proud I am because, we try to Monday through Wednesday put our kids in those pressure situations and those tough situations and coach them hard. That way, when the big games and big moments do show up, you've been there already. And, we coach them tough. And I thought Friday night that showed up.
And you mentioned always wanting to get better, but focusing on the last 4 games and the opponents you got West St. John, who's a rival, and great rivalry, great history, but West St. John admittedly has struggled this year up until this point. Varnado, LB Landry's is also next, and we already know about the problems they've had. Varnado and Crescent City have also struggled. How do you guard Riverside on paper is going to be a prohibitive favorite in all four of these games, at least on paper, but obviously they don't play games on paper. How do you keep your kids laser focused towards the down the stretch against teams that look, kids are naturally going to say, "Well, we should beat this team or whatever." But how do you keep your kids focused on the big goal at the end?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Kids and not just kids, us. We look at records, and I know they're not. I know they look on the internet and see who's doing what, and sometimes
Mm,
that is scary as a coach. If yeah, you look at a West St. John 1-5 team, but yeah, you know that it's a rival, and you know that
of course.
Coach Duran, he doesn't care that they 1-5 and we 5-1. He's gonna get them ready to play. And they don't, West St. John doesn't care that we beat St. Martin's, So yeah, that stuff is definitely a challenge as a coach to get them ready. And I'll tell you, I'll be honest, Monday was not a great practice. We didn't have a great practice Monday. We had fall break. We were off of school, and they came in, and and we were on their butts. But I will say this: we came back Tuesday, had a good day, and we had a good day today. So, is that stuff? You're absolutely right. Like LB Landry, you talked about them, where their record's not very good, but we all know that they got big dudes and fast dudes, right? And
Mhm.
you still got to block them and tackle them and cover
Yeah,
them. And that record is scary because it's East St. John, it's St. Aug, it's Carr, it's Shaw. That's some of the losses. So you can
yeah,
look at that if you want and think, oh, they not, they played better than Riverside, 5A. They played the best of the best. They're not scared of little old Riverside, right? So we got to bring it. We're gonna have to bring it. So yeah, that is a tough. Some of it is doing some good on good stuff during the week. Scrimmaging ourselves in some of the team
mhm.
periods and creating some of that environment in practice. But good question. Yeah, that's always things that you ask yourself as a coach to not look at the records but that's easier said than done.
Last year, you guys made the playoffs. This year, what is the ceiling for? I mean, everybody wants to get some pointers and play for the state championship and the Superdome lights, carpet, and all that. Realistically, where is Riverside going to be at the end? Where do you feel like this team can be? Is the ceiling the Superdome?
Yeah, I know that Washington Christian is the top of our class. It's
Yep.
been that way for quite a few years. I got to watch them in the dome this past year against Vermilion Catholic, and uh, great program, right? A great Division 4 program, and every year they're in it. And this is not to be, sound arrogant or anything. Yes, I want that to be our goal. I do. I talk about it that is our goal. And the first step is, every team you want to play on Thanksgiving week, right? That's a goal in high school football. You want to be practicing during Thanksgiving week. So the first step is let's get there, right? We went
Right.
9-1 last regular season. We got a first round bye and a home game. Let's get to Thanksgiving week now. And but yeah, once you get there, I mean, you're not going to say that's enough. Like you want to, yeah, it can be done here. So I want to make that the goal and continue every year and make that the goal. And no, every year is not going to happen, but I want our kids to know that that's what we striving for.
Last question before I turn it over to Jared. Last week we got some clarity on the format of the state playoffs, and I've been asking a handful of other coaches that we've had on throughout the last week or so. And now it's your turn. What do you feel about the format staying in place? Are you for or against it? And what about going forward? Are you with this format, or do you feel like that potentially now with a simple majority that could be the answer? Could we go back and get together? Privates and public schools get back together. What is your position on that?
Yeah, my personal stance on that, and I was able to go to Baton Rouge last week and vote, and it was a really good turnout and good showing. Uh, I am happy that we were able to keep it like this for now, right, and not go back to. I don't want to be in a class or a division where 1-9 makes the playoffs, and there's only I was coaching at Rummel in 2013, the first year when it it separated. We beat Bird in the state championship that year, and man, 13 teams. We were playing the Catholic League all over again in the play. You were playing the same teams that you just played week 7 through 10. So my personal stance, people disagree it. I would love to see it get all back together in 5 classifications, and I know that brings more competition. Like that brings a 1A Kentwood to like. It actually makes it harder to make the run to the dome, but that's just my stance on it. I'd love for it all get back together one day.
Coach Rousell, we want to thank you for joining us. Good luck to you this Friday night, and good luck to you throughout the rest of the season. Thank you, my friend.
Again, thank y'all for having me. I appreciate, love to get on and talk about our kids, and I think it's great what you guys do. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Our pleasure.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys.
That was Coach Lee Rousell. Is it me, or does Riverside just sometimes gets forgotten about? Because they sneak up on people. They've won state titles. They've done all that. I don't know how people forget about them. I know I surely don't. But Riverside is a team that everyone has to look out for. Everyone. They are a dangerous team, good skill players, they disciplined team, and they made a statement last Friday with that dominating win over St. Martin's. George Peppers, your thoughts on these Riverside Academy Rebels?
I like what I see. I mean, to me, that felt like easily their best effort of the season with how they won that game and how they just thoroughly dominated on both sides of the football. Remember, this is a Riverside team that lost a lot of starters, only brought 2 back defensively, and replaced 6 on the offensive side, having to replace some pretty key dudes. But they did this to St. Martin's last year as well. They beat them pretty good last year. So the sweep happened. And I look at that team, and Coach Rousell astutely mentions Ouachita Christian, aka Duck Dynasty University, and Vermilion Catholic. Those are the 2 alpha dogs in Division 4, and Riverside's going to have to, i.e., beat one of those 2 if they want to make it to New Orleans. I feel like youth can be served, but the curious thing for me, Jared and VK, when you look at Riverside, if teams have a formula for stopping Lassie, and by the way, he was the Greater New Orleans Quarterback Club Player of the Week for that incredible performance against St. Martin's, and well deserved. He could very well maybe win Player of the Year. Consider that he's the 3rd leading rusher in the state of Louisiana of all classes, 17 tutties already. VK, I like this Riverside team. I feel like it's a team that, for me, it's a little too young defensively to find their way to New Orleans, but you know what? They're going to battle you every which way. I'm not sure in a 40 game against, i.e., Vermilion Catholic or OCS. I'm not sure they beat either one of those 2 teams, but you know what? I'd like to see that matchup happen, though.
VK, quickly.
I would love to see that too, more than anything else. And you look at Riverside's history. They only won 1 state title. They had 4 runner-ups, state runner-ups, and only 5 district titles. But they've been in the playoffs in the past. They've been a team in the 90s that made some good runs and everything. Now they're trying to look for their 2nd state title. I think Riverside is a team that's going to sneak up on people this year. They might get a couple of upsets on them. They might knock a big team off, and that's going to build them more than anything else. Maybe a trip to the Dome. If it ain't this year, definitely next year, because it's amazing how much depth that Riverside has, especially for this young team.
All right. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, the head coach of the Lake Charles College Prep Trailblazers, Coach Erick Franklin, he's going to join us right here on the Hash It Out Show.
Hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. 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 Hands up, hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning.
Welcome back to the Hash It Out Show. The Hash It Out Show game of the week is between the Patrick Taylor Tigers and the Sophie B. Wright Warriors. VK Jones, George Peppers, and I will have the call tomorrow at 6:30. You can catch the pregame at 6 o'clock, game at 6:30, all on www.tsbnsports.com. Now, we move on to our next guest, and I am very happy to have this coach on our show because all my Lake Charles family get to see this guy on my show, so I'm so happy. And a former teammate and a good friend of mine, Jason Olford, he wanted to tell you hi, Coach Franklin. But we have the head coach. Yes, sir. The head coach of the Lake Charles College Prep Trailblazers, Coach Erick Franklin. Coach, thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure.
Thank y'all for having me, man.
Yes, sir. Coach, I want to start off. Why did you want to become a coach after your playing career was over with?
Man, it was just a time where I didn't know if I wanted to coach. It took a little time going through working in corporate America, then started training athletes, man. I didn't have a vision, man, to come back home and start coaching, man. So I ended up taking a job in Houston, first off, and I stayed there for 2 years, then went on to Dallas and went back to First Baptist in Dallas and coached, and I started training athletes. I came on back home to Lake Charles in 2011. Again, continuing to train athletes, and the opportunity came, man. I couldn't pass it up. Coming back home with opportunity to change a lot of kids' life.
You've been at Lake Charles College Prep for 10 seasons now.
Correct.
How have those 10 seasons been?
Oh, man, it started off rough, man. Anytime you're starting a program, from scratch, it takes a lot, man. Just a lot of kids. We had 9th and 10th graders, man. We went 0-9 the first year, losing every game by 40, 50 points, That's humbling, just to have that experience. But by year 2, we were 5-6, and made it to the second round of playoffs. So things started off slow, but it picked up fast, Then from there, we went from 1A to 3A. They moved to 3A pretty fast. That's a big jump from 1A to 3A. And, of course, we went 2-8. We just wasn't good enough in the trenches in order to compete with the 3A teams. By year 4, man, we had a great season. We went 11-2. And since then, it's been a really good ride for me at Lake Charles College Prep.
Your non-district schedule is pretty tough. Opelousas, Westgate. Last week you had St. James, to name a few.
That's right.
Why do you schedule tough games in your non-conference, non-district?
Well, I think one reason because it gets you ready for district. That's the number one thing. But most of all, for me, it gives my kids the opportunity to play against the best teams in the state. When colleges come into my school and want to see my kids, they want to see what they did against the St. James and the Westgates and Opelousas of the world. So I give them my kids the opportunity, give them a fair shot to get to college, because that's what I came home for, to get my kids to college, develop them at a high level, and give them the opportunity.
Week by week, playing these tough teams, tough games, how are you able to keep your kids motivated?
Man, just again, I drill that in them. It's the mentality. We'll play anybody. We're not backing down from anybody. It doesn't matter the score. I felt like we played all those teams pretty tough. It's just we got wore down towards the end. We made some mistakes, and if things could have went different ways during the game, it would have been closer games, or we probably could have even won the game. So again, it's an opportunity for my kids to get better, get good film against really good teams, and teams that's going to compete in the quarterfinals, semifinals this year. So I'm excited about that.
Most definitely. How can you describe the leadership amongst your players from last season to this season?
Oh man, it's different, man. You know, it's just when you have kids that's been with you since they were little kids. Actually, you know, my son is a senior there now, over here now, and a lot of those boys grew up with him from young, from 5 years old. So the leadership's been different. You know, as the expectation. You know, a lot of those guys just understand what I expect. You know, they took it on their shoulders right after the season last year after we lost to Notre Dame by a 2-point conversion. They took it on their shoulders and said, this team is going to be different. You know, and so far it's been so good for me.
You just spoke of your son. We see Coach Sanders on TV coaching his 2 sons. How is that like coaching your son?
Initially, it was different, you know, and I'm sure Coach Sanders said it's the same thing. It was different, but I end up enjoying it, you know, because he understands who I am, not just dad, but I'm his head coach, and he understands what it takes for him to be developing, what I expect of him and what's expected of him. You know, you have to be a leader at all times when you're a coach's son, and that's the great thing about it. You know, he prepares and gets ready for games as good as I do. You know, he does even more sometimes. You know, to make sure he's in the right position and able to line the team up on Friday nights.
Tomorrow night, big district matchup against St. Louis Catholic.
That's right.
What have you seen on film of St. Louis Catholic?
I see a team that wants to be physical. You know, I really do. I see they're trying to be physical, trying to play some really good defense. Again, and that's why we play our out-of-district schedule, you know, for us to get them opportunities. So when it comes to district, we've seen this before. You know, somebody that wants to get physical, I think we can match the physicality.
We are live with Coach Erick Franklin, the head coach of the Lake Charles College Prep Trailblazers. Those who are tuning in, please click that subscribe button. We thank y'all for tuning in. VK, I pass it on to you.
Coach Franklin, man, thank you for joining us. Thank you for accepting the invitation, man. You know what I'm saying? Let y'all stand up, you know. But man, you're doing a great job with your program and everything. And my first question to you, you know, the thing I seen last week against St. James, and I know it didn't come out in your favor, but what I seen was a lot of speed. Do you think that speed might be the difference in this game tomorrow night, especially defensively?
Well, I think that has a part in any game, you know, but I think it's going to come down to who's the most physical and disciplined team. You know, I always tell my kids, you have to be physical, you have to be disciplined, you have to have an attitude, and you also have to play your assignment every game. So if it comes down to those 4 things for me and my team, and I think we can match any physicality that we get a chance to go against.
And I know you had to, you know, you had to look for Elijah Garrett a lot, you know, not too many touches, but he's really a big time playmaker. Also, Higginbottom making some plays for you. Right. But how has been the growth of Dylan Vidal as the quarterback for your team this year as a sophomore?
I think that's been huge. You know, he's a freshman, you know, and nobody expects a freshman to get an opportunity to play, you know. And, you know, one thing he told me is right in the summertime, he said, Coach, I'm going to earn this position to be the starting quarterback. And I probably could have put him in a little early in the season, but he's only been starting for us for the last 3 weeks, you know, because I want to make sure he's mature enough, make sure he can handle it. And it was one play in the Opelousas game where he got hit, and I looked at him, and he was still fine. You know, he got up, he went to the next play, and I said, okay, this is our guy. I made the change then because, again, Matt Hickenbottom is really one of our better receivers. You know, he had to play with quarterback to get us through the early games of the season, and since he's been back at receiver, it's been really good for us.
Well, you look at this game tomorrow night, and I asked this yesterday to Brock Mathern,
right,
and I'm gonna ask you. It seems like there's been a change in the guard since LCCP and St. Louis has came on the scene in football. It's not like back in the day when you had Lagrange and Barb and Sulphur and Washington Marion. It seems like you two, St. Louis and Lake Charles College Prep, has taken over that area, but also the emergence of Iowa and Sam Houston. What you can say about y'all 2 programs really coming up in that Lake Charles area?
Well, I think it just comes down to the style of coaching. I think Brock does a great job of what he's doing at St. Louis and getting those guys ready to play each and every week. And I think that's the same thing I'm doing on my end. You know, I really get my kids ready to play. My kids love playing for me. You know, if they had an opportunity to go anywhere else, they wouldn't go if the opportunity presented itself. You know, it's one of those things. You know, the relationship I have with my kids is like no other. You know, we're family. I'm on them hard. I don't let them slide with anything, but I expect a certain thing, and the standard is the standard, and that's what we've been doing at Lake Charles College Prep.
Seem like the future is really bright overall for the school as well. You look at the future with Lake Charles College Prep, with what y'all trying to build, and also St. Louis. That's why I was thinking more than anything else. This is a time that y'all two schools might really take over because of the fact of the building and everything, the constructions and stuff that the schools are about to really grow fast, especially with potentially new facilities.
Right. Oh, no doubt. I mean, that helps, and I think that helps with kids. Kids like new things, new facilities. The great good thing about it, we've been pretty solid for the last 5 years. At least winning 7+ games. So would that happen when you're winning and you have new facilities and your band is good and your other sports are really good at your school? It draws kids from all over the town.
Do you think the experience of your team can get you back deep in the playoffs once again? You're the one school we've been touting on the last couple of years, and especially myself. And I'm like, this has got to be a year that Lake Charles College Prep can get back and potentially have a chance to win the state championship.
I
What do you
think it
think about
is.
this team this
I,
year?
I think it is. I mean, this team right here, man, I can say they have did more than I expected since last January, from a leadership standpoint, because a lot of the games come down to that, being that we played tough schedules and we got beat pretty good by Westgate. And, we were in the game early with Opelousas and eventually got beat by 20+ points. And then we were in the game with St. James and eventually fell to 20 points again. But the thing about this team, I thought we played really physical and we had opportunities, like last week in St. James, a quarterback overthrew 3 people, wide open, So those opportunities, and again, my quarterback Dylan, he was sick all week, so he'll be ready to play these coming weeks if he stay healthy, and then we should have a chance. And like I said, once the playoffs start, anybody can win at any time.
I'm gonna ask you this last question. I'm gonna pass this along to George Peppers. You have been a part of this Lake Charles community for a long, long time. And I gotta ask this a little bit outside of high school football. What is really going on in McNeese State? Because things is not the same over there. Things have been kind of going down. What's going on over there at McNeese? Because it's not, the program's not been the same.
I'm not sure, man. I can't give you a truthful answer on that. I was happy to see one of my boys play for me 3 years ago. He got an interception last week. So as long as my boy's doing good, I don't really know. I can't tell you exactly what's going on because I'm not really around there like that. But I know for sure when my kids are playing, I'm happy for them. Just the opportunity to play college football. You know what I'm saying?
That's absolutely. I understand. I just wanted to ask since
Right.
you've been there late y'all a long time. So I just wanted to ask. But George Peppers, you go ahead.
1 second,
Thank
George.
you.
1 second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
1 second, George. 1 second. You're all right. VK, he's a La Tech Bulldog. That's where you got to go with it. La Tech Bulldog, man.
Yeah, man.
Well, actually, let me flip the script. What you think is going on at La Tech?
Oh, now you're stealing my thunder.
I'm not sure what's going on. Like I said, I haven't been up to the game. I was supposed to go up there for homecoming. So when I go up there, I better give you a better answer after I go up there.
VK, you got to understand, VK. There's a lot of coaches from
That's
La
a
Tech.
good one.
It's hard for them to get back to La Tech, but trust me, they keep an eye on it.
That's right.
Coach Franklin, one of our somebody that's tuning in has a question.
Okay.
He asks, "What's the formula on preparing your team on a short week at this stage of the year?"
I think at this stage of the year, you're pretty much set with what you're going to do offensively and defensively. So just making sure you can stay healthy, get some good work in. Like I said, we go normally about a 2-hour practice. And again, like we did Monday, we had a JV game. So you get your short little practice, hour and a half on Monday, and then on Tuesday we got us a 2-hour practice. And today we did pretty much a walkthrough type practice with our helmet on. Like I say, at this time of year, at week 7, there's not much you have to do because you are who you are at this point.
George Peppers.
Yes, sir. Coach, first off, thank you. I echo my co-host in thanking you for taking the time to join us. It's a pleasure for us to talk to you. I got to see you Friday night against St. James, and it was a pretty rough outing for you guys. It started pretty good, and then I guess St. James, they are what they are. You know that, I mean, they did it to you last year in your building.
Right.
Looking at your team through 6 games, you're 3-3. The 3 losses, no shame. Westgate, Opelousas, St. James.
Right.
But you got a couple of tough ones here in the next 2 weeks. You got St. Louis tomorrow night. Iowa's pretty good too. Is this a good? As far as let me see, I can phrase the question. Is it overkill to schedule these kind of teams, or do you feel like this best prepares you for a playoff setting?
Well, I wouldn't say it's overkill, because the way I train my kids in the off season, I don't think it was a different when it come to physicality in any of those games. I thought we were there. I thought if we don't bust plays right before halftime against St. James, we go into halftime 9-7. So it wasn't a difference in physicality. I don't even think it was a difference in speed. It came down to us being disciplined in our assignment, and things I talked about before the game. So I never ever would think it's overkill, because now we're at the point where we're in district where we are a really physical team at this point with a lot of speed and have played some really good teams. And regardless of if we beat those teams or not, my kids' confidence is through the roof at this moment.
And I don't know if this is a fair question to ask, but I'm going to try to anyway. You're playing teams that are potentially teams that could get to New Orleans, St. James, Westgate. I don't know about Opelousas, but was St. James the best team you played to this point?
You said who was the best team?
Yeah, I could phrase it. Who was the best team? Who is the best team you've played to this point, in your opinion, and based on what you saw?
I thought Westgate was the best. Last year we lost to Westgate. You understand this? Last year we lost to Westgate, which was the same team. We lost to them by 6 points last year. And this year we got beat pretty good by them. But I thought Westgate was the best team we played against up until this moment. And it's just they were physical across the board. They can run. Up until their quarterback got hurt 3 weeks ago, I thought they were a team that's going to touch the carpet this year.
Now you look at the district coming in. You got St. Louis tomorrow night, Iowa, and then Jennings, and of the like. What's it going to take for you guys to keep going, and as far as trying to get some momentum heading into the state playoffs?
Well, again, it comes down to the same thing. We have to be locked in on our assignments. We have to be disciplined, right? We have to be physical. We have to play with attitude, and that's the way we're going to bring tomorrow. We're going to line up against a really good St. Louis team who, like I say, who wants to be physical, in which I'm fine with that. That's part of football, especially if you're in Louisiana. It's a physical football game in Louisiana. So, again, my team will be ready to play come tomorrow night at 7 o'clock.
And talk about the emergence of Elijah Garrett, Memphis commit. Really good player. St. James really, except for the late touch last week, did a heck of a number on him. But talk about how Garrick has impacted your team this year.
Well, he's been that guy. He's been waiting for this opportunity to be the main guy, for this team. Last year had a really good year for us, and this year, even with a freshman quarterback here who hadn't played a snap in high school, he's still having a solid year for us.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, last week he ended up with 1 touchdown. They did bracket him a lot, they did, but even the time he got open, Dylan overthrew him. So he had opportunities to come out the game with two touchdowns last week, which we missed him on 1. So just with the emergence of him and my young quarterback, it gives my young quarterback a safety blanket to throw to every Friday night.
Just an observation before I mentioned VK and I did the game last Friday night in Vacherie with you guys, and I noticed I think on the Carlo analyst chair, Vital sailed a couple of balls that Garrick had a chance to get to in that ball game, and that could have made kept the game a little close. I mean, St. James has an acceleration that not many teams do have. But my final question before I turn it over to Jared, I've asked a lot of other coaches to this point. I mean, last week we got some clarity to the definite what kind of a bracket we have. And my question is two parts. One, what is your opinion on the fact that we're going to maintain the status quo from last year? And two, I know every team's ceiling is the Superdome. But where do you, when you guys get to the playoffs, and where do you feel like this team can be as we head to the playoffs?
Well, first off, the bracket stuff is, like I said, it is what it is. You play who you play. And I think the side we own, being on the select side, I think the bracket, I like our bracket. It's the same one we were in last year. And I thought we had a chance to make a run last year. We lost to Notre Dame by a 2-point conversion at the end of the game, a heartbreaker, when it shouldn't even been that close, But I'm excited about it. I think this team, at the least, is a quarterfinal team, And if things go our way and we stay healthy, I think we can make a run to semifinals or championship.
Coach Franklin, I got to ask you this question.
Yeah.
Will this Lake Charles College Prep and Westgate rivalry continue for years to come between you and your former teammate, Coach Antoine?
Oh, yeah, that's my guy, man. Me and Ryan talks a lot about a lot of different things. So yeah, that's my guy. We're going to play every year from this point on. I don't see why we should change it.
I agree. I know I went to the Westgate and LCCP game a couple years ago at Lake Charles College Boston Stadium. My auntie
That's
stayed
right.
right across the street. It
Oh
was
yeah,
a torrential downpour that year, and
that's right.
I remember
And
that.
they were really good. That's the year they won a state championship.
That's right.
and look, after they beat us that game, I told everybody they probably gonna be in the dome. You know, that's before everybody even said it. They were really good.
Yes, sir. Coach Franklin, wish you the best of luck tomorrow night against St. Louis Catholic. Wish you the best of luck throughout the rest of the season.
Yes,
I was so happy that you could join us. I truly appreciate it, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. Appreciate everything, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Thanks,
Coach.
Coach.
Our pleasure.
Thank you. Later.
Coach Erick Franklin of the Lake Charles College Prep Trailblazers has a real good team. And look, they have 4 games left in the season. They're going to get better. A 1-point loss in the second round to Notre Dame in overtime. A couple years ago, they lost in the semifinals in overtime to Farmington, who is now in Union Parish. They've tasted success before. This team can get to the dome. They surely can. They have the talent. They have the athletes. They can get there. What you got to say about that, VK?
I agree. They can definitely get there. And remember, you forget about the year they lost to Madison Prep in overtime at home in the quarters. They turned out to be the state champions and shocked everybody in 2020. That was basically the shocker of the weekend because everybody thought that, it was going to be a game between them and Union Parish, and it turned out to be a one-sided blowout that we never seen before. But regardless of the fact, we just knew Lake Charles has been built this thing up for years and years to come, and this might be their time. And I think they're gonna get better and better. That schedule's gonna prepare them for this big run coming up.
Without
I
a
really
doubt.
think so. And but I think Vidal's got to continue to grow as a freshman, as the quarterback, to do what he has to do to find his targets and everything. I think this is going to be a huge game coming up tomorrow against St. Louis. This is do or die for them to have them going forward, to have a chance at a district championship and also a chance for a good seed in the playoffs.
George Peppers.
Well, watching this game last Friday night when they played St. James, and not having seen Westgate, so I'm not going to formulate an opinion on who I think the best team they've played. But I saw a team that really put the throttle to them once they got in front. And Lake Prep, I think Vital showed his youth, for freshmen on the road, extremely tough environment, sailed some balls. And, I pointed out to you, VK, during the broadcast that there were guys that had chances to make plays. Elijah had, St. James did a lot of bracket coverage, but there were opportunities that Garrett got, and Vital put a little too much mustard on the ball. He's got a live arm, and I'm curious to see how this team goes going forward. I think the next 2 games, like I mentioned in the interview with Coach Franklin, St. Louis tomorrow night and Iowa the next week. Iowa semifinalist, another team that was a state semifinalist, and it has a lot of quality to it. The schedule, it's going to prepare them for the playoffs. But one thing, in my opinion, I think they're a little too young at the most important position to get to New Orleans at quarterback. I'm not sure Vital. I mean, I think he's extremely talented. I saw some big promise in him, but I feel like that they may fall a touch short with the inexperience. I mean, yeah, he's played some good teams, but you're asking this kid to take this team to the dome in his freshman year, and I'm not sure they're there. I think they're close. I think they got the talent. Well, I agree with you guys, but I just feel like when it's shakedown time, I'm not sure they're going to find their way to New Orleans. They'll make a nice run in the playoffs themselves, but I think they'll fall just a touch short.
I'm going to ask you this question right quick. Who took North and Soto to the dome last year?
Dennis Dunn. Oh, an 8th grader. 8th grade court. I forgot his name, but he was an 8th grader. I get what you're saying. Okay, I knew that was coming. I get it.
I think
I knew that was coming.
It can be done. I think it can be done.
They're in select. correct?
I think they're Division 3 select, maybe, or Division
3
select. Yeah. Division 3 select.
And then you look at Jabari Antoine last season. He was
It's tough though because they got St. Charles Catholic, but it can happen.
Right. Jabari Antoine was a young quarterback last year, so Dunham had a young quarterback last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So it doesn't. It to me, when you look at it down the line, experience does matter.
It does.
It does. But the thing about youth, even at the time, the time's going to get better because of the fact when you're battle tested and you get into week 7, 8, 9, 10, that freshman or sophomore, junior year is going away. Consider that anymore because you got games under your belt. So I really think a player like Fatal will get much, much better because of the tough competition, and that makes him battle tested, that he'll make better decision than he made.
All right.
2 things.
Go ahead.
I was going to interject 2 more things. 1, hypothetical matchup question for both of you. St. Charles is in Division 3 select, correct?
That's correct.
And look, Lake Charles College Prep, we all can agree, has the athletes and the wherewithal. But the St. James's defense is really, really strong. But can this Lake Charles team, as constructed, play St. Charles and have a chance to beat that team? See, that's the question I ask. I'm not sure they can.
I'll say this: any given Friday, any given Saturday can happen. We just said ain't no way Rumble will beat Curtis, and what happened?
And they did.
And it happened.
They did.
It can happen, but we all got to remember, playoffs is all about the matchups. It's all about matchup. Bro Bridge was the last team to get in Division 2 non-select last year, 28 seed, and they got to the quarterfinals.
Yes, they did.
28 seed. It all depends on matchups. If it's Lake Charles College Prep have favorable matchups, it can happen. Not saying it's going to be easy because you have
No, it's not.
Calvary Baptist, St. Charles Catholic, Dunham, University Lab. You got a bunch of hard, tough teams.
A whole bunch of tough teams.
Yeah.
Isn't Newman D3?
Wait, what?
Isn't Newman D3?
Yes.
We got to include them too?
Newman.
Right.
Yes. Newman too. You got to include, yes. So if they can gel and get it going, the offense, use their talent to the best of their ability, yes, they have a shot, without a doubt.
I agree with that. I think I would agree with that. I think it'll be a great matchup against St. Charles. I would give St. Charles a little bit of an edge, but
they're the favorite.
But at the same time, I think Lake Charles does have a shot because that would be a great matchup, and they're going to be as battle tested as St. Charles.
Yeah.
So that's just the thing. If teams are as battle tested as the other as a top team, it's going to be a ball game. It's better with that than a team that ain't hardly play anybody.
All right, let's move on, guys. Move on. Thanks to Coach Erick Franklin. Thanks to Coach Lee Rousell for joining us. Truly appreciate it. We'll thank him again at the end of the show. So we put together our top 5 teams now every week, and we gave you our top 5 teams of last week. So now let's give y'all our top 5 teams of this week. And I want to start with my buddy VK Jones. You know, he had Kentwood last week. So I want to see if he still has Kentwood or has he changed. Let's look and see. See my man VK working with. All right, here we are. As the logo blocks out my face for the time being, but that's okay. VK Jones, top 5 teams in Louisiana. Ruston, number 1. Edna Carr, 2. Holy Cross, 3. St. Charles Catholic, 4. St. Thomas More, 5. All right. I can rock with this, VK. I can rock with your list. I'm still going to say, where's Destrehan?
Destrehan coming, and it might not. They're coming, but they're probably going to be coming after they play East St. John.
Oh, okay.
That they play East St. John. No disrespect to the defending state champions. And Reggie Johnson, it doesn't matter. You don't do this like I do. So this is my top 5. You can go take that rock and smoke it yourself. Thank you very much.
Oh, damn. Hot shot.
Thank you very much. And all I know, looking at it, I just said myself, I think for this one, I was very, very impressed with Holy Cross. And I said it myself that Holy Cross had a repeat performance and it was coming. It turned out to be not just a repeat performance. They had probably the biggest output of the season. Against St. Augustine, hostile and homecoming, and scoring 35 unanswered points in the second half. I didn't just put Holy Cross in the top 5. I had to put them up there to number 3. St. Charles has been consistent. St. Thomas More has been consistent. And the car has been consistent. Ruston, I mean, they're very consistent in itself. Destrehan, no disrespect, but they're going to be up there soon. It's just the fact of the matter is, got to have a strong win. I'm using I like the eye test, but I'm using my journalistic integrity on this. You got to reward people who are they're playing. You have to reward that. I'm sorry. You have to. You cannot just give somebody a top 5 and they didn't play anybody and they didn't beat anybody. No, you gotta give love to people who has give a noticeable win. Now, I ain't gonna lie, like honorable mention would be definitely Riverside on what they did last week in St. Martin's.
Over Destrehan?
Wow.
It's a question. Calm down.
No. What you mean? No way. Who Destrehan beat last week? You tell me, and who Riverside beat?
Riverside got worked by Newman.
No.
Are you kidding?
Wait. Hold on. Time out.
Oh my. Okay.
Riverside beaten. Riverside bounced back and beaten a team that got to the state semi last year. Come on, man.
Central Catholic.
No. St. Martin's.
Oh, the Saints.
Thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He's still not agreeing with you though.
I know he's not. That's his opinion.
No, sir.
But I
do have a question though for you, VK.
Go ahead.
You it's not that you're slamming Destrehan. I know that for a fact. You're not saying any of that.
He's not doing that.
He's no. And for anybody that's cut it out, DJ. Stop it. All right. I see them pot shots anyway, and that's not on me. I get it. But no, VK, you don't have Destrehan in the top 5, and it's understandable. It's a subjective poll. The thing with me, and y'all gonna see my poll here in a short time. You say Destrehan hasn't played anybody. It's Terrebonne somebody this week. And if they win, let's say hypothetically they wax Terrebonne. They beat the brakes off of them, beat them by 30. Is Destrehan getting into your top 5 next week?
I'm gonna be like this. We gotta see how STM does. We gotta see how St. Charles does. We'll see what happens. I think Terrebonne is a good opponent.
5-1.
5-1 despite who they beat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we'll see what happens. I would give Destrehan a top 5, even if it's not a blowout. If it's a competitive game and Destrehan pulls it, I might put him in, because the fact of the matter is this is a big test more for Terrebonne than anything else. But I really think Destrehan, it should be much better. But if Tyler Lewis has his team prepared and they play much better than what we see them early in the season against Kennedy, that's going to be an interesting game on Friday night. And I would definitely give Destrehan some kind of a nod. If they don't get top 5, definitely honorable mention, because the fact of the matter is, okay, now your schedule's getting tougher. No disrespect to Destrehan. And like I said, it's about resume. It's about what these teams do. That's one of my top 5. is based on eye test and resume. So that's how I go with it.
All right. Let's go to mines. Let's go to my top 5, everyone. My top 5 didn't change. My top 5 stayed the same. Edna Carr, Ruston, Destrehan, St. Thomas More, Holy Cross. I ain't see y'all pick our game last night. I'm tripping. Yeah, we didn't pick 35 last night. Y'all played Kentwood, right?
Yeah, that's Kentwood this week. So I think it's tomorrow. I don't know if it's tomorrow or Friday.
Tomorrow.
Okay, they're playing that game at Pan Am, I think.
Pan Am, yep.
We didn't pick that last night?
Nope.
No.
No, not on the list.
All right, cool.
We got one other game we got to pick.
We got to pick one game. I'll add it at the end, DJ. I'll do that for you.
No, actually, we were supposed to be the St. Louis and
Lake Charles College Prep.
I got that. I'll add it on when we do it. So my list still the same. Didn't change. Do y'all have any questions or any thoughts about my list?
I'm gonna go with this. Don't have a problem, but here's the thing: why you don't move Holy Cross up?
Because I don't think Holy Cross is better than those 4 teams above them. That's why. I don't think they could beat St. Thomas More yet. I don't think they could beat Destrehan. I don't think they could beat Ruston, and I don't think they could beat Carr. That is why.
I'm like this. I get it, but I gotta give you a little bit gripe on it, just a little bit.
Give me some gripe, Kentwood. Come on, Kentwood. Come on.
No. This ain't about Kentwood. Here's the thing. Look who Destrehan and St. Thomas More beat last week, comparing to what Holy Cross did against a good St. Augustine defense. You put 55 points. I'm sorry. You're going from 5. You're not gonna go past 1 and 2. You're not gonna go past 2 and 1, but you got doggone going to 3. Because that's an outstanding performance. I'm sorry. It's like I said, it's about integrity, but at the same time, you gotta look at the performances too. Because I'm like, I get it. But I think Holy Cross should have went up to at least, if it ain't to 4, at least to number 3 after what they did last week.
I respect your thoughts and your opinions, but that's where I will definitely disagree with it, because
I understand.
St. Aug, we know where they are right now. 2-14. That just, I mean, Holy Cross undefeated, and you look at it like Holy Cross did what they were supposed to do. I don't think Holy Cross does that to a St. Thomas More or a Destrehan. I think the outcome is opposite. I think Destrehan gets to win. I think St. Thomas More gets to win. I think those two are better than Holy Cross. Go ahead, GP.
When I look at your list, and both of you guys have Ruston high, and look, I'm not trying to poo-poo Ruston, but as you'll see here in a couple of minutes, I don't have them.
I only got Ruston over Destrehan. I think they're even, but due to Ruston's schedule of LCA and the Neville and even the Easton, that's the edge they got on Destrehan.
I get it, but they lost to Warren Easton.
They did. If I was going by the on the field thing, they wouldn't be up there. I totally agree.
Okay. Again, I'm not poo-pooing Ruston. I think that's an outstanding football team, well coached, and yes, you mentioned the schedule. Lucked out. Well, I say lucked out, but desperate to hold on against Lafayette Christian, then took Neville's best punch. This is a team with a lot of character, Ruston. But to BK's point, Holy Cross offensively is one of the most scintillating teams in the state. Cole Canatella has been that dude this year. And man, look, I feel like a complete idiot for picking against them last week. Going with St. Augustine. I thought that was the come out game for St. Aug defensively, and what a misread by me. I really honestly thought Jakeem Stewart and that defense was going to make plays, but there's an indictment on St. Aug that they're 2-4. This is a big indictment, but on who? On who? That's the question you ask. Looking at your list, though, JB, I don't have an issue with it. And I mean, Holy Cross beat those four teams? If they get into a track meet with St. Thomas More, not a chance. Destrehan, too physical. Ruston, too physical. Carr, too defensively oriented. I'm not sure Holy Cross beats those four teams, but we're gonna find out what Holy Cross is made of again Friday night. Excuse me, against Brother Martin, and I believe they get Carr next week, if I'm not
Holy
mistaken.
Cross remaining
Yes.
schedule. Brother Martin, Carr, Jesuit, East St. John. If Holy Cross runs the table, Holy Cross is
You
definitely
better move them.
number one.
They'd be like George and Wheezy, move them on up,
Yes, they beat those
move them
three,
on up.
Brother Martin, Carr, and East St. John, and don't lose to Jesuit, easily number one, without a doubt. And that's why we need to get rid of the split so we can have these great
Yes, sir.
matchups.
I agree.
And I look at this top four, and here's the thing: if they beat Edna Carr, Holy Cross definitely really goes
Yeah.
up. Then you look at you, and I think they got a chance against Carr. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting. Destrehan's run game is gonna be the key in that one. I'm not gonna lie. Holy Cross has a great shot against STM. And the reason why STM's defense can be had, it can be had. And I'm telling you now, Holy Cross might have their team. They might do what LC couldn't do. Finish the job. And that's what Holy Cross is doing this season. They're finishing the job. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen these next couple weeks. JB, that's my only thing with Holy Cross. But at the same time, it's an interesting top five. I want to see what George has, and I don't know if he's shaking up or not, but let's see what George has.
Reggie, they do. They got talent galore on that team.
They
Offense
do.
ain't clicking. They got a good defense. That's pretty much what it is. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to George Pepper's top five. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? His stayed the same also. He didn't change his top five. So go ahead, George. Explain your top five again.
It's easy. Edna Carr, I mean, obviously had the off week last week. Destrehan crushed Central Lafourche. St. Charles won big. St. Thomas More won. Holy Cross, as we mentioned, put the double nickel on St. Aug. I think, again, these things are subjective to the people listening and watching. These are subjective, and these are our opinions. But when I look at this top five, I feel like from what I've seen this year, we've seen the three of us. We've seen this in the car team. They faced the eye of the storm when St. Augustine jumped them in the third quarter, got in front. We got to find out with a mostly young football team defensively. They were able to answer the bell in the fourth quarter. It did take a foolish call down the road, the Dawson Simmons fumble, which actually turned out to be a fumble. So let me backtrack that comment. But Edna Carr, mano a mano, can beat a Destrehan, because that's the one team that can physically do damage to Destrehan. Destrehan plays physical. That's what Marcus Scott's teams do. St. Charles at 3. Until otherwise noted, this is the best finishing team in the state. They know how to close. We saw this against Turlings, who can score at will. And St. Charles put the bottle cap on them in that game in week 3. St. Thomas More, okay, you're right. This defense is not very good. They can be had. The thing and a prospective matchup with Holy Cross, I think they're both in. I know Saint Holy Cross is selected is STM. They're not in the same division, so they won't see them. They'll be in Division 2, so we don't see that matchup. And once again, thank you, Split. for denying us. Just saying. You know, I mean, come on. I know that I hear the snickering, but am I lying? No. Um, Holy Cross is going to answer a lot of questions for me. If they beat Brother Martin, handle Jesuit, or if they can beat Endicott and Brother Martin, that is a daily double that is going to be incredible. Because Brother Martin is still a good football team.
Yes.
Carr is Carr. Carr is going to beat Carr is obviously the chalk. But they get Jesuit a letdown spot. Remember, Jesuit beat St. Aug, you know, and then they get East St. John to close. You know what? Holy Cross could beat East St. John. From what I saw from East St. John, Holy Cross could beat them. They can. I think they can line up against that team. The thing that's going to get Holy Cross in trouble, guys, I'm not sure they can punch a team in the mouth and get punched back. If they get punched by a physical football team,
They got punched by
I
St. Aug.
feel like this is,
They got
well,
punched by Curtis.
and
They were down by double digits to Curtis.
and they did
punched.
twice.
Yeah.
They've been
But
punching them out. They've been punched big time.
So St. Aug jumped them last week.
And I was up. Yes.
Okay.
And they
that
scored,
I didn't know.
And they scored 35 unanswered in the second half. That's why I'm telling. That's the only problem with your top five, George, and your top five, Jared. Holy Cross should be moved up against that defense.
Hey.
Oh my God!
Undefeated or had one loss, I'll probably go with you. But
exactly, I would give more credence if St. Aug's record was better.
But not just the fact that St. Aug record's not better. Look at St. Thomas More. Come on, bro.
What you mean?
These people beat North Vermilion.
That's in their district. They can't help that.
But no, it don't matter. They're bad.
Okay.
They're bad.
But have you seen
it don't matter.
other teams they played?
St. Aug in the same district of Holy Cross.
I know that.
Bro.
Okay, so that's kind of making our point. Why are we not putting Holy Cross up higher?
I would put them up higher because of the performance. Come on.
I'll say this.
Vermilion, really? And you're going to keep them there at 4?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh
yep, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Since wait, hold on. Okay, wait. Again, these are subjective arguments. And I can make one sure bet that Cartwright to Musbertolino, this discussion will continue. That's for certain. But what goalpost? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
But I don't either. I don't know what that's up. I have no clue. I mean, and look, Holy Cross is a great team. And look, I've said on record, I'm on record, Scott Watney is the coach of the year. The only other coach that gets into this argument, David Oliver, St. Amal. Nobody in their right mind thought either of these teams were going to be 6-0 at this juncture of the season. But, Holy Cross has a lot of character. And who?
And also David Seminole out of Central.
Out of Central, special. Yes. Yeah, boy, that Roots Chris going to taste good if Central can hang within 15, right, VK? Just saying.
Yeah.
Look,
that Roots Chris going to be good.
Look, let me just go over this schedule for St. Thomas More. So,
all right.
First game was against Ovi Como. All right, 9 district, almost right there in their neighborhood. 5-18, destroyed them 45-6. Up and coming Alexandria, who just gave Ruston a run for their money, lost by 7. 49-21. Brother Martin defending state run-ups, right? 41-7 on Brother Martin. Catholic League team, another 5A school. Hey, Catholic came to town. They beat Catholic 35-28. Then they played Denham Springs and then North Vermilion. I like where I got STM at.
No. I get it, but it's about week per week.
Yeah,
come on, man.
We know that
per week.
I still don't think Holy Cross can beat them.
I think Holy Cross can beat them.
Okay, that's fine. I had no problem.
That's your opinion. That's your opinion. But at the same time, bro, It's about week for week. What St. Thomas More has done has been impressive. It ain't no knock to that. But last week is just like with St. Charles Catholic. They beat a team they supposed to and handled their business and dominated.
Right.
We talking about a Holy Cross team and DJ 13. Yeah, you can say all you want to that St. Aug's just a D line. St. Aug had a good god dog on secondary, and it got sliced. We talking about the same St. Aug defense that gave Carr hell. I don't know if you watched the whole game. Go back and watch it and how Carr had to earn the win. Come on, man. You do when you have an outstanding performance like you did in a hostile environment. St. Aug's homecoming. St. Aug off to a great start. They're up in the ball game. And in the second half, you blow the doors off. Come on, man. They gotta. I put them in the top 5, and I'm like, they ain't going 5. They're going 3. That's the most impressive performance we have seen out of all the top 5 that week. Straight up, the best all-around performance.
And I'm going to say,
Yeah.
if Holy Cross would have
All
put
right.
in a Karen Crow or a Zachary and beat them, yeah, then maybe so I can move them up. But I don't think they better than STM. And St. Aug record speaks for what they are. A below average team right now. That's underachieving. You giving Holy Cross all this credit because this St. August.
But the fact of the matter, and I'm right. It's the fact
No,
that
you not right.
I know I'm right because come on, bro.
No.
You're gonna give STM props over North Vermilion. Really, dude? Really?
I'm giving
How about the fact that they're a reigning champ?
everything, bro.
No, it ain't disrespect to them about them being champs. We go week for week, right? It's about performance week per week. And sometimes that's how the top 10 and whatever is moved. It depends on what happened, what you do in the week. If everybody is even in the performances,
the best overall
it's gonna stay with its
teams, bro. Who are our top 5 best teams in the state? That's what we talking about.
I know, but also it goes upon what you do in the week as well. You can't just you can award a team that's top 5, that's the best or whatever, but also you gotta monitor what they do each week. It's just a fact of the matter is with Dexter. There's no disrespect. I don't have them in the top 5. They are a great team. But you look at their win column. I have card number 2. I always will respect Carr. I can't put them number 1 because you look at Ruston. We're not talking about the Eastern loss. They got 3 big wins over 2. Do the math.
George, you want to chime in right quick?
It's simple.
I do, because again, I keep stressing this is subjective. Don't shoot us.
Yeah,
all right.
Suggesting.
Don't kick off.
We all have different opinions. That's all it is.
Exactly. They're like a certain body part which we won't mention because this is a family show. Holy Cross and St. Thomas More in a prospective matchup. Jared, correct me if I'm wrong, but these are 2 like-minded offensive machines, right?
Correct.
Both teams. Who's got the better quarterback? Canatella or the kid from St. Thomas More? Because there are people at STM that will tell you their guy is better than Jawan Johnson.
Yeah. Shoot, that come from your throat. If you say Sam.
Exactly. I don't give a flip. I wish they would. Come get it, big boy. I'm a big boy. I could take it.
Oh, them people are mad at me, boy. They were mad at me.
I know they wanted to beat the brakes. They wanted to punish you.
Over Cole Canatella. Yes.
Okay. That's the prospective matchup. And both teams are what? Offensive juggernauts, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And St. Thomas More skull drug Brother Martin 42-7, correct?
Yes, they did.
That's the end of the argument. Brother Martin is a Catholic League team. Holy Cross.
Carr didn't do that.
No, they did not. No, they did not. That's why in a matchup of STM and Holy Cross, give me St. Thomas More, and I'll give you 14 in Holy Cross.
All right, you can say that if you want to, and all I'm gonna
They won't play each other though. Wait, they
they
won't
won't
play each
play each
other
other.
though.
They won't play each other. But all I'm gonna
Mm-mm.
tell you, you went with that same thing and you got burned. So
Wait, you talking about 2 years ago?
no,
Stop
it
it.
don't matter if it's 2 years.
Calm
It
down,
don't matter.
You talking about
It don't matter.
ladies and gentlemen.
It don't matter.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It don't matter. I
VK.
won. So that's all it is, bro.
That's fine. Okay, great. Every dog has its day. Every blind squirrel finds a nut, right? But VK's in his feelings because the Braves got smoked tonight. So
I'm good. It's not over
lies.
yet. It ain't
The
over.
fat ladies have cleared her throat, baby.
The mission is to win and go back to Atlanta and get payback. It ain't over.
But no, back to this.
Yes, please.
Back to this poll.
Yes.
Back to this poll. Let's get back to where we're going. If Holy Cross JB cannot beat STM in our mind, they could beat St. Charles Catholic, surely. But can you honestly say they beat Destrehan or Edna Carr? Those are teams that are extremely physical and that can do a lot of damage and that can take time off the clock and shorten the game. Holy Cross has not played a team that can shorten a football game. Those two at the top can. And if they leave Canatella on the sideline, that arm gets cold. I'm just throwing it out there. That's why I feel like Holy Cross deserves to be where they're at. But beat Brother Martin and beat Etna Carr, now you got my attention. You already got it when you beat Curtis. And you followed it up with a double nickel at St. Aug. But beat Brother Martin and beat Etna Carr, and let's see.
Yep, I agree. I totally agree.
Of course, y'all two agree. And
of course, Mr. Kentwood. We do, Mr. Kentwood. We agree.
Like mine, baby.
All of them tell you.
Like,
and it's
great minds think alike. Tell them, JB, great minds think alike, baby.
And it's amazing. Y'all two are going upon a great performance of STM over Brother Martin that happened in week freaking 3. Really, dude.
Okay. But they beat a Catholic League team.
Week 3.
Then he, George.
We are in
body of work too, George. Did he say that? Body of work?
Wait.
He said that, right, George?
Hold on, JB. What did he say?
Did he say you got to count the body of work also? The teams they played?
Yep. Yeah, resume, baby. Resume.
They got. Look.
Yes, he did.
They got. Look, I'm not saying they don't have a good resume. STM has a. I even said that earlier, Jared, and you heard me. They have a hell of a resume.
Yes,
they do. But we're talking about, and George mentioned, the win against Brother Martin. That was week 3. We're talking about.
But he won by 35.
Listen, we're talking about.
They are still a good team. Now he want to go back.
No, but I know what I'm talking about. Because, bruh, no, DJ, this is not goalpost moving. It's the fact that, come on now, I'm telling the truth about this. You talking about week per week. We talking about a week 3 great performance compared to a week 6 where where basically 4 of the 5 teams ain't played no damn body. Come on, man. Let's be real.
So you gonna punish them?
It ain't about.
Hold on.
It ain't about it. It's about doing the sensible thing.
Oh damn!
It's about doing a sensible thing.
Oh
you take,
wow.
Take one team, you move them up. Not put them at no number 1, but just saying, hey, they need to be at 3 or number 4. Just saying, because I'm like, hey, don't knock in STM. STM ain't going no top 5. No way. It's just the fact of, hey, you had a good performance, but we know this team played better.
The fact that you don't have Destran in your top 5 and they are the defending champion in the top class is criminal. That chirps me. That team is not in the top 5 in your poll, and they're the top dog in the top class, and they're not in your top 5. But Kentwood was.
Man,
yikes!
Man, look, man. I'm running things.
Oh damn, Reginald! Damn, Reggie,
yeah,
I see you.
I've been crazy. Yeah. I was born.
I ain't saying all that.
I was born in a straitjacket. You got doggone right.
Oh damn!
You got doggone
wow.
Right. Look, I might be the crazy person. Look, I ain't perfect, But I ain't gonna lie,
Nobody
I ain't
is.
perfect, but I done had some good picks and wins. So I'm gonna tell you, I ain't as crazy as people think.
Look at DJ
I'm
again.
not as crazy as people think.
Oh,
Oh man, I'm just like this. He's saying this awesome performance against St. Augustine, but St. Augustine
2-4
was
St. Aug, by the
4-1,
way.
5-1. They were 2-3. That's why I'm like, I don't know how. I, I look at it like
How's that
Holy Cross
credence?
did what they're supposed to do. That's just it. The offense, they just can't get nothing going at St. Aug. Yes, they got a good defense, but the defense can only stand up for so long. I just think they did what they're supposed to do. I think Holy Cross is
Yep.
a top 5 team. I just don't have them in my top 4. That's it.
Okay, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, man, this is fun.
This is great.
Yeah.
You know,
I love this. This is why the hash it
we're
out.
expressing our opinions. That's all it is. You
Listen,
know.
this is why the hash it out show is as good as it is. And yeah, we're gonna beat our chests right now because of this sequence right here, this segment right here. The fact that we can interact and debate freely and express and espouse logical, legible opinions. Except the fact that Kentwood was in the top 5 last week.
Kentwood.
I mean, that's
And
in the
you
house.
see that, and you see
Okay.
they're not in the top 5 no more. I have at least
No, they're not.
sense. At least have.
You know why they're not in your top 5? Because if you guys watched the show last week, those of you typing, Jared, what did you do last week to question the Kentwood number 5 spot? You named, I think, 8 or 9 teams.
I think a lot of
Could
teams.
they beat in a hypothetical? About 9, 10, 12 teams. I forget how many.
Yep.
But you named a bunch of them. I counted about 9 that he said they couldn't beat, but yet they were number 5 last week.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, we're gonna move on from the top 5. We'll bring this back next week,
Okay.
and we'll see if me and George top 5 change, if VK change. Look at DJ. He said VK was supposed to keep Kentwood in the top 5.
Oh, damn.
Oh, VK, man, they get
DJ
you,
a
VK.
fool, man.
They get you, bro. They get VK.
I'm sorry.
They sat him.
I'm sorry.
All right, guys. I want to quickly just go through power rankings for a couple of the classes right quick.
All right.
So let's go to Division 1, non-select. There it is. Top 28 teams go 1 through 4, get a bye. Ruston 1. There's Walker, Neville, St. Amant, Zachary, Airline, Southside. Destrehan, number 8. West Monroe, Dutchtown's up there. East St. John creeping on up. There's Bell Chase, Chalmette, Westgate. That Jabari Antoine injury is so huge right now to them, man. It's big time. West Washita still in there. Ponchatoula quietly moving up. Sam Houston, Live Oak, Washita Parish. Central, 5-1. They beat Calico Baton Rouge. They're going to jump big time. Parkway, they beat Bird. They'll jump up some. Hammond, Salmon, Terrebonne, North Shore. Barb, Thibodeau, Denham Springs, your top 28 that will be in right now. And there's Hornville at 29. Hornville was leading Thibodeau until the shooting came. The shooting happened around the high school. That can cause them to miss the playoffs. Any thoughts, VK, right quick on Division 1 non-select? Quickly.
It's amazing when we talked about how bad St. Amant is, and look at St. Amant now. Right now, a number 4 seed potentially if they finish the season. They got a big one coming up Friday, and if they do that, they on their way to a district championship.
They still got to play Walker too. So Walker's at number 2.
Agreed.
It's big.
Agreed.
GP.
What they're telling you is Baton Rouge is pretty potent, aren't they?
Yep.
With these rankings. That's what that's telling me, but I see Ruston as the top dog there. And that's because of the SOS, strength of schedule. That is a team that is not afraid to schedule against big time opposition. And for the most part, they've handled business. And I mean, it's a compact list. I mean, it's, I'd hate to think if Hallville misses the playoffs because of what happened last Friday night. And look, we've been the utmost critics of Daniel Luquette and that group down there that they've disappointed. but they were making a turnaround. They gave East St. John a hellacious battle 2 weeks ago. Then that unfortunate, horrific incident happened last Friday. If that causes them to miss the playoffs, and look, what does it matter if they look? You get in, anything can happen. And I'm not saying they would make a run or anything like that, but I'm just saying if that game causes them to miss a chance in the tournament, that's just bad off.
Everybody, shout out to Big Easy Media. What's up, fellas? Hey, they doing some big time work, giving y'all a lot of content of high school football games in the area. Y'all go ahead, support them, hit that subscribe button. I'm all about networking and being friendly and helping out others. And Big Easy Media, guy Justin, they doing a lot of good work, man. So y'all
Shout
hit
out
that
to the
subscribe
guys.
button for Big Easy Media also, man. They doing some good things. Definitely good things. I was
A
telling
big time
VK,
crossover.
I was telling VK today, Big Easy Media. I said, hey, St. Aug and Holy Cross, Big Easy Media got it up already. I said, go watch it and you see what happened. All right, guys, let's move on to the other Division One. Division One select. And these are 24 teams make it. Top 8 get the bye. Number 1, Holy Cross. There's Captain Shreve, Karen Crow, Brother Martin. There's Catholic. Edna Carr moving on up. Acadiana moving up. St. Paul's quietly. Tioga quietly. Hey, look who's number 10. Riverdale Scottish Rebels. John Curtis dropped to 11th. There's Alexandria. McKinley. Rummel holding it down. There's Bird. East Jeff. That game between East Jeff and Bono going to be huge this weekend. Huntington. St. Augustine. Holding on, baby. Holding on. There's Bonneville. Lafayette. John Ehret. Jesuit. Woodlawn. Northwood. Shreve. And then Liberty, Pineville, and Higgins still making a fight for it. Higgins might move up with a win over Landry. We'll see. Quick thoughts, VK.
Where is Chalmette in this thing here? I'm curious.
Chalmette's in non-select. I think they were.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they're non-select.
That's right. They in St. Bernard Parish.
Yep.
That is funny right there, man. But you look at Captain Shreve, that really surprises me. They are really starting to get on a roll, and look at the wins they have gotten. Now they are number 2 ranked in Select Division 1.
GP.
Just trying to get the list up on here because I tried to full screen it. Looking at the list, and Holy Cross deservedly is number 1. You guys can hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. I need John Ehret to win a couple of games here, brother. I mean, 21. What is it? 24 teams making it. I think the top 8 get a bye.
That's correct.
So that means Ehret would play Alexandria, I think.
Ehret's 21.
Am I right? Yeah.
Ehret's 21.
They would play to 12.
Yep.
I think they would go to 12 and get Alexandria. Doable matchup. Rummel 14. That's saying something. Nick Monica's team really starting to kick it into gear. And I'm looking at the rest of this list. I don't have any real argument. I mean, Captain Shreve did take one on the chin last week. That was still though they're working on the body of the schedule. This is why they're
Captain
2.
Shreve won
But
last
look at
week.
the
They beat Airline.
One last week. I'm sorry. Yeah, they beat Airline.
Yeah.
You still there,
It's
George?
definitely- Uh-oh.
George? He'll come back. All right, let's go to
All right, I'm here.
Cool. Let's go to non-select Division 2, and then the last one we do for the night is select Division 2. Now, top 28. I like what I see here. West Feliciana, Pearl River. Pearl River. What?
Wow.
Lutcher. Yeah, Pearl River. No one's undefeated here. Everybody got a loss. Lutcher and North DeSoto, 3 and 4. Albany making noise. There's Assumption from Assumption Parish. Hey, here come Wassman. Franklin Parish. Opelousas. Cecilia. Jennings, Eunice, Iowa, Abbeville, Plaquemine, Grant, Leesville, Rain, DeRetta, Kaplan, Bro Bridge. Remember what I said earlier on the show. 28 seed last year, got to the quarters. Iota, Northwest, Bastrop, Rams, Lakeshore, Morgan City, Carroll, and Ranger holding it down. There's St. Martinville, but they got St. Charles Catholic, and there's North Vermilion, who was a semifinal team VK last year in Division 3.
And finished last in the district. But still made a great run.
Division 3 non-select, but then they moved up. I'm gonna tell you my opinion right quick before I move. I think the top 10 is where it's at. Right here. I think the top 10 is where it's at. My opinion. Leesville and Bro Bridge right now could be that spoiler. But other than that, I've got the top 10. Go ahead, VK.
It should be a potential rematch between Lutcher and North DeSoto, maybe for the state championship. But if either of those teams lose or one of them lose, it's going to be wide open to who gets to the dome if one of those teams lose or both. But Lutcher and North DeSoto's the team to beat. But if either of them go down, it's going to be a wild, wild race to try to get to the dome.
Go ahead, GP.
Well, the team that's got me interested. Look, I get Lutcher and North DeSoto. Lutcher has had to kind of transition a little bit because, they moved off of Antoine Winfield. He graduated. So they've kind of been in a bit of transition. They're a team that's going to be extremely dangerous later on. I think Cecilia is a team that's got my attention. That's got a chance to really do some damage. And they come out of a ripe area. And I think that's a team that you have to at least consider to make a potential deep run. North DeSoto, you know what? Some people are going to be like, oh, they're nestled away way up in the northern part of the state. DeSoto Parish, that's a good little ways. But you know what? They still got Dennis Dunn. Say what you want about him. But that man took that team to the dome with an 8th grader at quarterback. To dismiss them would be absolute lunacy. That would be my favorite right now is North DeSoto. I get West Feliciana, but let's see if they eyeball these kind of teams that can beat them. I'm not sure they can. I think North DeSoto right now is the favorite.
VK?
Well, I definitely can understand where you come from. And you look at Cecilia more than anything else. That's a team that can do some damage, especially under head coach Dennis Gaines and also assistant coach Clint Harrison. The connection from Bell Chase that's really getting Cecilia going.
All right. And we go to the last one we're going to do today. Division 2 select. Top 24 goes. Top 8 gets a bye. Here we are. That's STM, number 1. But John F. Kennedy holding it down at number 2, beating those 5A schools like Terrebonne, who's 5-1, Live Oak, who has a winning record, and even St. Amand losing to them. But that strength factor, boy, is helping John F. Kennedy so much, holding down number 2. Here comes LCA number 3. Turlings at 4. Some 3 Lafayette schools, boy, holding down that top 4. E.D. White, 5. St. Michael, out of nowhere, who lost to West Feliciana by 1 point. St. Michael out of nowhere. Livingston was down to teens. The winner with Patrick Taylor goes to number 7. St. Louis Catholic with the big game against LCCP. So your top 8 gets the bye. There's Archbishop Shaw, number 9. Vanderbilt Catholic. Evangel, big game with North DeSoto. Peabody, Coach Coleman doing his thing. Madison Prep, 35, boy. DJ 1-3. And he said the rankings all wrong here. 35-14. De La Salle's there. Northside, Buckeye, Woodlawn, Shreve, Estruma, Bel Air, Booker T, Douglas, Booker T, Shreve, and 0-5 Landry holding it down. Look at 24-29. Look at this. Somebody getting in with a losing record. Even 23 probably. Maybe 2021. But these What if Landry makes the playoff with his losing record? Anyway, VK, go ahead with your thoughts.
Well, this is a very tough. Oh man, I would love to see Kennedy really make a push this year, but this potentially might be really tougher for them. I know they're going to be maybe a much better team, especially with the transfers and everything else, especially when they all get in gear. But it's gonna be tough sledding. I hope Kennedy can get there, but bruh, this whole division two, to me, in my opinion, probably the toughest division in the state.
Over Division 3 Select?
Yes.
Woo.
This is
GP.
a tough division.
That's a coin flip, I think. I think that's an absolute coin flip and a potential matchup. You said the top 24 make this, right?
That's correct.
Shaw would make Booker T. Washington and Shreveport drive 6 hours to get their brains beat in.
No, Shaw would right now, Shaw would face
24.
Landry.
Oh, it's Landry at 25. Wait a minute.
24.
Okay, LB Landry, a team y'all just dusted last week.
Yeah.
A team y'all just mopped the floor with last week.
Yep.
That team is going to be in the playoffs.
As of right now.
Okay. Noted. But I saw DJ13 put a comment, that one right there. Edie White, Kyle Lacine has done great work down there with the Cardinals. This is a team that has been to the big dance, been to the championship. It's a team that's quietly doing their work. They're not being considered as one of those teams. But what about St. Michael, the Archangel? Look at the year they're having. That's a team that's never won a playoff game and probably will do so this year. Livingston is right there. I think, Turlings, we saw them earlier this year. They only lost. No shame in getting whacked by St. Charles. None. That's a dangerous entity. And for VK's argument, I'm not going to disagree or agree. I think it's a coin flip for 2 and 3 selects. I think it's a close argument that which is the toughest. Because really, who can you point out in 2 that is like stick out? Stick out favorite. Big, you know what I'm saying? There's no one in this division 2 that you could look at. I'm not sure. I'm not sure you could just tell me one team to be like, hang your hat on and let's go. You can name about 5 to 8 teams that could conceivably do some big damage and find their way to Poitras Street in New Orleans.
Doug Root Sports Network. We statewide, baby. Louisiana. We statewide, baby. Thank you for tuning in. All right, guys. Let's get to the last part of our show right quick. I'm going to do this for DJ. McDonough 35 versus Kentwood. I got 35. VK.
Ooh, I think this will be very interesting in itself, and I think it'll be very close. Should be a very good matchup. I got 35.
DJ, he ain't got Kentwood. Boy, yes indeed.
Wow. Shocking.
I thought he was going that way.
Me too. But I guess it's my turn, right?
It's your turn, George.
All right. I got you. All right. Kentwood don't have a game changer like Santana Price. Therein lies the difference. Price for them last week against an Abramson team that's good, and it's not going to make the playoffs because of some. I don't remember why, but they were listed in the power rankings, but
Right.
they're listed as a team that's not going to be in the playoffs, and it stinks. I wonder if it's because they're just coming back to varsity. I think that might be the case.
Could be, yeah.
That's potential. I don't know this. I admittedly I don't know, but my theoretical guess is that Kentwood's defense is tough, DJ, but I think your offense is going to do some work. McDonough 35 by 14.
All right. Now, we didn't call this game yesterday because Coach Franklin was coming on tonight. Now we're going to call it. I'm going to let VK go first.
George Peppers, you go first, man.
Oh, Lord, playing pool.
Yes, indeed. He's coin flipping. Look, I get how high we all are on the Trailblazers of LCCP, but if recency means anything, and to me it does, I'm gonna pick the Saints to win this game. I think Brock Mathern's got a heck of a thing going. I feel like that they're ready to meet this challenge and answer it, and I think they're gonna win the game. It's a touchdown difference, but I'm going with the home team, Saints.
VK.
Should be a very good game here. This should come down to the wire. And LCCP, they got a lot of athletes, got a lot of speed. But I think the experience is going to kick in for St. Louis. I got the Saints winning by a field goal.
My turn. Lake Charles, stand up. Your city is getting the best game of the year for Lake Charles, the city itself. This will be the best game in Lake Charles for this year. Two good teams going at it. The winner may be the district champion. But I think LCCP puts together a game-winning drive with a game-winning touchdown and beats St. Louis Catholic by 4 points. I got LCCP in a close, tightly fought ball game. LCCP bounces back with the win. Now, with that being said, our show has come to an end. We will be back Tuesday and Wednesday at the same time. But I got to say this right quick. In 2 weeks, we're going to have our 100th episode. In 2 weeks, October 25th, our 100th episode. We got a lot of guests that's coming on. We got Courtney Hogan from 1008. We have Jordan Taylor from Under the Lights. We got supposed to have Coach Corday Hankton coming on, and some other coaches and other people coming in. We got a bunch of guests. We need everybody to tune in for our 100th episode in 2 weeks. Okay, it's gonna be big. We start at a special time at 7 o'clock on that Wednesday, October 25th. But episodes 90, 97, and 98 are next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. Make sure y'all are here. VK, you got any last words before we go?
Man, it's I can't believe that we're almost close to 100 shows, and it's been amazing to be a part of this ride. We're continuing to grow more than anything else. Tune in tomorrow night for the Hash It Out Show game of the week between Patrick Taylor and Sophie B. Wright from Musburger Stadium. 5:50 pregame. 5:50 will be pregame. Special kickoff 6:30. JP rules. So 6:30 kickoff. TSBNsports.com. We'll have the link up by tomorrow. They had to do some maintenance today. So we'll have the link up by tomorrow with the preview. So we can't wait to bring that to you. 3-man weave for the next 3 weeks. Can't wait to have that. Well, 3-man weave for the next 2 weeks. I'm sorry.
Well, my final words are this. We're almost to a century mark of shows, right? 100.
Yep.
Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We're not stopping there. That'll be our first step to 200. And then when we get to 200, it'll be our next step to 300. And so forth. Look, we have big dreams and big goals, and the three of us have united together and put together one of the fastest growing sports talk shows in the city and around the area and around the state. And we continue to branch out. I gave these guys another idea that we're kicking on, and hopefully we can get some clarity on that as well. So, and I'm just grateful and thankful to be a part of a show that is progressive and continues to get better and continues to grow. This is like planting a seed. You put it in there and look, Jack and the Beanstalk, maybe. I mean, I don't know if we're beanstalks, but I mean, I'm trying to think of something that's growth. And here we go. Trolling. Go ahead, Reginald. I hear you. All right, brother. I feel you. But look, I'm just grateful to be a part of it with you guys. And tomorrow night is gonna be fun. Like I said a little while ago, that car ride to Musburger gonna be interesting for sure. and the post game maybe. I don't know, but yeah, as VK said, ball game tomorrow night. Sophie B, Patrick Taylor, going to be a competitive affair. Be sure to take a listen. I'll be on the play-by-play, and my two best friends right here are going to be on the color, and we're going to rock it like we've done all year long. We're hitting our stride. The show's hitting their stride. It's hitting its stride, and I just thought of something, and I'll discuss this with you both off the air about October 25th. We'll talk about that when we get off the air.
All right. Special thank you to Coach Lee Rousell and Coach Erick Franklin for joining us. We're back Tuesday and Wednesday, 8 o'clock p.m. Make sure y'all back here with us. Until next week, for VK Jones, for George Peppers, I am JB, your sports guy. God.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Actually, it's at 100. All right. I have an answer, but I'll leave it alone.
Let it be, George, please.
You're right. You're right. Some things are better left unsaid.
Oh, God. Until next week, y'all.
Thanks for the interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, a lot of it, too.
Yeah, y'all take care.
All right, DJ.
Yeah, y'all take care.
Yeah.
Hands up, hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. 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 Hands up, hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning.
Thank you for watching the Hash It Out Show. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you.